So we're going to kick off first with Friday's Daily Mail. Josh, what are they leading with?
Royals hit by new payout demands over slavery links. So this actually has come from The Guardian, and we revealed yesterday how The Guardian are like, we're going to really look into slavery now and what we did. Because a few weeks ago, The Guardian was like, it turns out we had like a bit to do with slavery.
Yeah, but they've known that for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, that The Guardian was founded by a slave trader. Yeah. A man who made his fortune in the cotton trade, John Taylor, I think his name was. But now they made a statement about reparations a few weeks ago, but now they're going to research the monarchy's slavery.
A cynical person might say that they published that particular piece just so they can now publish all of these pieces that they're planning to do about the royal family.
Exactly.
And the story in The Guardian says, and their headline's slightly different, King Charles signals first explicit support for research into monarchy's slavery ties. And the way that they sort of imply it is that because of their investigation, that this is what's happening now. But actually, it turns out he did it in October.
So this is a weird thing, isn't it, Lewis? I mean, I could save them a lot of time and would just say, any aristocrats before the year 1800 will have either been involved with slavery or supported slavery. Don't worry about it. They're all dead.
Right.
There we go. That would probably be the easiest and quickest thing to do.
And we're all descendants of those people.
Right, yeah.
And everybody, half the world has either been enslaved or were slaves.
Well, we are all, no doubt, descendants of slavers and slaves.
And as I've said many times, as a Jew, I'm still waiting for my money for reparations from the Egyptians for enslaving us in the land of Egypt during the Passover thing, whatever.
Happy Passover, by the way.
Yeah, happy Passover, exactly. But it's a time.
But again, which pharaoh are you going to contact about that?
Which Egyptian? Are we going to go over to Egypt and demand money from these people? It's a very slippery slope. It's not even that slippery, but it's a very massive slope.
It doesn't require real investigation. I mean, we know about various connections that the royal family has had with the slave trade over the years. I mean, Elizabeth I had a stake in Francis Drake's voyage, which was involved with slavery. So what do we do? What's fine on a historical level. Let's find, we already know these things. Historians already know them. But fine, let's talk about them. Absolutely fine. But there's an added element to this, isn't there? Which is like, let's blame the royals. Let's make them maybe apologise or something. All these people.
But it also seems like King Charles is sort of capitulating to some level.
He loves it. I mean, why? What?
Well, I mean, he apologised last year, but now people are saying, that's not enough. Like, you got to get into it. That wasn't a proper apology. You got to get into what your descendants do. But as you just said, everybody's descendants pretty much tie up. I mean, there's 16 amounts of sets of descendants coming to that time.
Right.
So we've all got some bad stuff.
Well, also, I mean, these people who write these articles in The Guardian and do all these probing, you know that if they were around in the 1600s, they'd be cheering on slavery as well. Pretty much, almost certainly. Yeah. Because everyone did, unless you were one of the enslaved. In which case you hated it.
I live in a neighborhood which has a lot of descendants of slave owners.
Right.
It's called Peckham. And my neighbors are Nigerians. And they come from West Africa. And they were totally involved. I don't know if this is the nice thing to say. They were totally involved in the slave trade. Britain never went on to the African coast and went and captured people.
Oh, I mean, slavery is not unique to Britain or America.
It's not unique.
It's a cross-cultural.
It's way scarier. You know what? You didn't ask me how I was doing because Josh talked right over me.
Sorry, mate. How are you doing? You all right?
I'm not doing that well. I got a little bit of hay fever or something like that. I don't know what I've got, so I'm in a very grumpy mood.
Okay, well, I'm glad we've covered that.
So that's your slavery take, is it? You've got a cold.
I've got a cold, which is why I was a bit grumpy to my Nigerian neighbours, who are lovely.
Right, we're going to move on now to The Telegraph. I'll keep you updated on Lewis's health throughout the show.